part 2 of the preview. Time to get into the, we start with the Group 1 races. Before we do, Group 1 packages, Matt, just a reminder for everybody, jump on board with the for the round week 3 weeks, a bit of a discount, just make it easy for yourself so you get it. You can get the race speed profiles as one for $149, you can get Darren Potter's set for the next 3 days, and if you want anything outside of today's meeting, you need to buy that because it won't be sold individually over the next couple of weeks. So that's available for $149, and Mounting Yard Mail from Glenn Pollitt for $85, and a great day for Mounting Yard Mail with a little bit of wetness about and all that sort of business. So jump on board with the packages for Randwick and the start of the carnival.
Yeah, especially with Darren stuff, if you want to grab him, the only way you can get it the rest of the carnival is by getting the 3-week package, because once Mark's back on board, he's our individual Sydney.
Exactly right. So it's a little bit of a sneaky way to get Darren stuff, but if you want it, jump on board. All right, the Sires Produce Stakes over 1,400 metres. Pride of Dubai, $3.50-ish, Ready for Victory about $5, as is English, and Pasadena Girl, $6.
They should rename this the Aaron Macy race.
Yeah, Pride of Dubai. For those of you who haven't had the privilege of being told every day how good a horse Pride of Dubai is.
Superstar. No, it's not just the horse, it's just the colours. Anything in those colours at the moment.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
He just horns up massive.
Yeah. Okay.
I could be good mates with that streak.
Anyway, from a monetary point of view, the Pride of Dubai was put up short, just sort of easing out slightly.
So that's about 420 now, I believe.
English was back to cut in a couple of points, and Pasadena Girl, I think the market's been out for a while. This is the race that Vancouver was supposed to be. When the mail was out that it was out, Pride of Dubai was obviously back at the time, but also Pasadena Girl was 8s into 5s now. So probably best back Pasadena.
All right, lovely. Interesting. I think it's a poor quality race, but it's an interesting race with a lot of different angles. Oh, they're not much good.
Yeah, I think there's a tail, but the winner or top 2 might be okay.
All right, lovely. Okay, pace-wise, not a huge amount. I mean, the default position is for 2-year-olds going up to 1,400 metres. They often go faster than they think, but these horses haven't really been running all that fast in front. What are we thinking? Always Allison comes across and possibly leads with that another little bit of a minor riding change with Joe on for Glenn.
Yeah, I think so. I think Odyssey Moon.
Mashani Honcho probably kicks up a little bit.
Also English should be up there.
English won't be far away. But no one really wanting to desperately own it.
Yeah, definitely.
This horse from the Slipper's not here, so no, it'll be a little bit more gentle, but
should be. But you always keep in mind that up to 1,400 metres, the number one determinant about the pace of how fast a horse goes is the horse itself, and if they decide to go, they go.
And they can't really control themselves.
No, that's right. But these horses have shown signs of being able to settle. Anyway, all right, Aaron, you're going to tip Pride of Dubai and why?
I am leading with him still on top because I do think he's a class horse. I think he's in the top 3 2-year-olds in the country. I think his win in the Blue Diamond was one of the most impressive 2-year-old wins I'd seen, in the fact of how poleaxed he got and was able to pick himself up and then win.
That is what do you mean, seen this season or seen ever?
Seen in a while. It was super impressive. You don't see many 2-year-olds get
no. When they run time, which is about akin to winning a race at Mornington, I can't agree with that, and especially.
Yeah, I'm not as big, but at the same time, I'm not as big on times as other people at the same time.
All right, okay. Well, what we'll do, we'll set up a race. You'll take on Usain Bolt, and you'll be there. I'll come and crash tackle you, and you can get up and run him, and you'll just go, oh wow, that was good.
My only fear about the horse is he is such a real big, thick-set horse. He's an impressive-looking type, and he does not look like a wet-tap type. So he has trolled on it. He didn't seem to love it, but he has that little thing about him. He's a bit like Vancouver. He doesn't overly trial well, but they do turn up race day.
Yeah, he is. And 1,400 metres is definitely what he needs.
Oh, it's right up his alley. I'm going to have 6 units Pride of Dubai. I'm going to have 1 unit Mashani Honcho, because he's been looking desperate for the 1,400.
Absolute wet track.
And he's just
huge numbers.
And he's just the best mud lark in the race.
Yep.
By far.
Absolutely.
I think he's been set for the race.
Yep.
And he's definitely looking for the 1,400. And I'm also having 2 units for Geese. I thought his first start run was good. He sweated up, as you saw. He looked like he was going to die.
Yeah.
he ran into the race, he copped just a little bit of interference, and he kind of lost his momentum, and when you are first up, it's hard to then pick up and continue. And that's pretty much it for me. I think Pasadena Girl will be hard to beat. I think there's a few other chances. Ready for Victory. I thought its run was super impressive in the slipper, but it looks like it's all kind of happening a bit too soon for him.
Maybe, perhaps, yeah. It's an interesting race with lots of layers. I mean, the Pasadena Girl thing, well, both of her runs have been down the straight. She's really, really let down over 400 metres, but that sort of style you look at it and go, geez, it looks like you're really, really loving the straight. You know, like you're there and you're in an impossible position, then you go bang. But then you think, so you're thinking that, but you're also thinking, geez, if you're close to him, you've just got this killer 400 metre sprint. So she has to be dangerous. I settled on Ready for Victory. I'm not buying into the whole he should have won the Golden Slipper bullshit. I don't think that's even close to it. But what I do like about him is he's got two very, well, comparatively very strong last 800 metre sections in both of his first two runs, which is a very good sign for 1400 metres. And from memory and wanting to have another look at him, he looks like a real wet track type. He's not
Price ripped fit.
Yeah, he's not an impressive looking type, which normally equates to wet track capability. So I thought he was the logical centre pin in this race, and I'm 5 units. I'm Ready for Victory. Yep. That's me.
No, I like Prodigy by, the wet is obviously a question mark, but I think he's got the perfect setup to win this race. Yeah. And I do agree with what Aaron's saying in regards to the way his momentum was fully stopped and was able to push out. I thought it was very impressive. And yeah, just a great setup. I'll have 6 units. I'll have 4 units on Ready for Victory, who's just progressing so well.
Super.
Nice draw. And look, I've got massive concerns over the form out of the slipper, which is why I want to get away from it. Outside of the winner, who I thought was huge.
Yeah.
And Ready for Victory.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah. So
you were sort of saying English.
I mean,
the slipper has only returned okay numbers, and English did get probably the greatest run of all time in the slipper.
Yeah.
But it is gay. Opposing gay too.
She kind of looks a bit like, but she kind of gives a feeling of a 1200 metre blouser English a little bit at this point.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Odyssey Moon's form. This, beaten 4 by Exosphere, beaten 1 by Tarquin, then beaten 2 in the slipper. It's just it's all too similar. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get away from the Tarquin form, the Odyssey Moon. English I can throw in there. Pasadena Girl by Savabeel is going to love it, but I'll go stick with what. He's already there's only 2 Group 1 winners for 2-year-olds, isn't it? Prodigy by in Vancouver.
Yeah, there is.
Why not?
Yeah,
paying's not a bad price.
All right, beautiful.
$4, I think, is a good price.
Yeah, I think it's a great price.
If it
was a dry track, I'd be super confident. I'd be saying get in the queue.
But it isn't, so there it is. So I'm 5, Ready for Victory. You are, just to repeat?
I think I said 6 Prodigy by
4
and 4 Ready for
Victory. And Aaron, you were?
I was 6 Prodigy by, 2 Mashani Honcho and 2 Regis.
Mashani Honcho, interesting. Might be a good place bet, Mashani Honcho. But C. Whiteley doesn't exactly conjure up extravagant confidence. Anyway, all right, moving to race 7. Now, before we do this, is more about what we don't have this weekend. Matt, no John McLeod. He's updating his system, and more than likely Brisbane's probably going to be called off because more than likely it has been.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing guitar with Mark.
With Glenn.
That's right. So John, like any good punter, he's seen an avenue for a heavy 10 if they're on. So he goes, I'm just going to refine
they were doing a lot of back-end updating during the week, and he just thought, well, actually, no, let's get it right rather than do this, which the meeting's likely to be called off, and obviously Ascot isn't going to be called off, but it's all part of the operation, so they just let it slide.
And as you said at the start of the show, Mark is away as well,
Mark's
so he is not doing Saturday, he's not doing Monday.
And Darren will be doing one of the Mondays. Monday it'll either be Sandown or Warwick Farm, I'm not sure which one yet.
And Mark will be back on Wednesday. We're backing up at Warwick Farm.
Warwick Farm, because there is no Kenzo. So that's that. And there is no Hong Kong this weekend. That is on Tuesday, is the Hong Kong meeting.
Okay.
Tuesday there, and we have a Tasmanian meeting on the pick the day of the Tasmanian race on Monday.
Monday, Wednesday next week.
There it is.
The sets are the links are up to buy.
Beautiful. All right, lovely. Race 7 is the Derby, and preferment $3.50. Vox Stock and Barrel $4.60. Meraki equal favourite $3.50. Mongolian Kona about 7 to 1.
Yeah, the biggest go has been Haraki. There was about what price did you have there?
About 5 to 2.
Yeah, I think it's been in a good couple of points. I think they might have even put out $7 early.
That's been smashed.
That was taken.
J-Mo. Well, I mean, he's going to be very popular in the betting now, isn't he? Just the computer programs are going to be really favouring J McDonald if they weren't already.
I think the next 2 weeks might be a little bit different though, because Moreira's here.
That's right, exactly. Yeah,
so a few of those, he's actually got a little.
We've gone from having how long's Blake out for?
1 week.
Is he 1 week? He's back next week. Well, we went from having 3 jockeys last week to now maybe having a half a dozen.
Yeah, so
it helps.
Anyway,
half a dozen might be stretching.
Speed-wise,
not a huge amount. I suppose it's Hampton Court leading, Brogue up there, and a lot of people want to say Mongolian Khan might make it a test or something like that. But not a lot of pace. Again, talking about young horses getting up to distances, often they can go faster, but Hampton Court last week is backing up off that run and went below benchmark early. So if he's the likely leader, he's being able to control it. So
does he just look completely gone?
Possibly, yeah. But if it was a dry track, I probably would have had something on him. But
wow.
But it's not a dry track, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he just needs some.
But to answer your question, yes, he could well be gone, and that makes it quite a feasible point.
And I don't ever think he's ever been a Derby type.
No,
he just doesn't look to be a Derby type.
No, I think anyway, cool. All right, Matt, what do you think?
I'm sticking with the tried and tested in this race, so I'm going to put a line through all the horses that ran last week, even though the 7-day backup is a good thing generally. Look, I think the same 2 horses are going to fight out the finish, Preferment and Vault Stock and Barrel. And look, I really like the way Vault Stock and Barrel was on the line. Yeah. He had plenty of running, he changed his legs, he was only just running away from Preferment, but he's also going to appreciate longer distance. So I'm just going to have 8 units on both horses. I am happy to be against Haraki. Reason being, he showed an explosive turn of foot, and I think we can just completely rule that out. We're not going to see that. We're going to take that the rain and the distance is taking his best asset away from him.
The only thing that I'd say to counter that is if it run ridiculously slow, he does still get that opportunity to do that. But if it is run at even a fairly reasonable pace, he'll be looking for the Ventolin inhaler halfway down the straight.
So he's just creating a little bit of value for us, in my opinion, at that $4 something, $4 mark. So look, small edge, I think, backing the top 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to oppose Haraki all that strong because of the fear of how slow it was, and he does have that dynamic 400-metre burst, and he is ridden by James McDonald.
Yeah.
But I think Preferment close to moral. I just kept looking at it going, I'm Preferment and this, Preferment and that, Preferment and that, Preferment and that. Preferment. Bang, it's Preferment. He's got a similar pattern to what he did going into the Victoria Derby, where he improved probably 5 lengths over 2,400 metres. And the other thing is he's got the best wet track numbers in the race.
Yeah, beautiful.
Preferment.
How many units?
15 units on Preferment.
15 units for Preferment, wow. I'm in agreement with Preferment. I've got him on top. He's done it. We've seen what he can do over this distance. He has that very, very similar setup where he's kind of looked like he's doing nothing, just went bang, here's a run,
that's right,
almost won, and then he
goes
again. He actually looks like a genuine 2,400.
He does, and that's a big tick here.
I'm going to have 6 units on him, and I'm going to have 5 units on Ruling Dynasty. I kind of had that real old school Cummings. This is a lead-up run. I'm not drawing the win. Let's just snag it back, work. His run was awesome to the line. I thought completely unsuited.
Yeah, well, it was just a non-participant.
It just looked dead as a doornail. It was just one of those runs. He's worked home to the line very well. Wet track's got to be a bit of a query for him, just looking at him.
The 7th run first prep.
Yeah,
Cummings is one stable that
Can do it.
Well, Bart Cummings was a stable that can do it. I don't know. Does that carry over to James?
A few of James's horses are going quite well, and he seems to be getting them going.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy to go with it. I think it does look a progressive type, and it's had its run space.
The best thing in its favour of the 7-day backup horses, it's just had its second crack at 2,000.
Yeah.
The rest were just 15 up to 2,000 or 16. So I did like that.
And I'm having 2 units.
And a good run to back up off too. The quieter the run, the better the backup.
And I'm having 2 units Mongolian Khan. I think if he does bounce back and if he is right, he can run 2,400. He's grueling, and that's a loss.
There it is. Look
at that.
Just a steam, that. Cool.
Let's go.
Yeah, cool. So Mongolian Khan, I just cutting it on Mongolian Khan. When I first did the race, I ended up having him equally on top. Just the lines with Vauxhall and Barrel. Then I realised, hang on, this is all first prep, and this is we've seen this so many times. The horses they come over actually run well in the Rosehill Guineas, and then they go into the Derby, and it's just a bridge too far. Like he's come over and gone shit in the Rosehill Guineas. And I was happy to forgive the run until I realised, no, this is all first prep. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's a drop off. I want to avoid.
Yep.
So
enough.
that's why I just kept coming back. Preferment.
Yeah, for sure.
I just think he's got the wet track fingers, and I think he's. Murray's done it before.
Yeah.
I'm just having a little bit of faith in Murray, and I think a lot of people are opposing it, like you are, for very good reason, and I think it could get out to a silly price.
Could do. Anyway, preferment.
TJ Smith.
There it is. Okay, cool. Everyone said the units. Perfect. All right, lovely. Okay, moving along to the TJ Smith. Before we do that, your team, our team, one to follow.
Going well.
Yeah, lovely. Track
Going
work.
well. Had a good week last week. Week 5 is pretty good. Starting to build in. It's amazing when you actually have 4 fields as value in Sydney racing for once.
Yes.
So it's just been ticking along nice.
One to follow.com.au. So plenty of different services there all around Australia, and different angles, whichever you want. Just go and have a look at the site, check it out, and you'll probably find something there. It's a nice little budget tipping thing for $10 a week. It's pretty good value, and it's all from professional punters that you're getting it from. So it's all high, top-notch information, obviously delivered in a very basic format, but it's for $10 a week. You are going to have a good ride. Jump on board, one2follow.com.au. TJ Smith Stakes is over 1,200 metres, and it is. I didn't look this morning. Are they equal favourites, or have they worked it out yet? With Terra Vista and Chautauqua both around about the 2-1 mark.
Chautauqua's a little bit shorter still.
Is it? Okay, cool. So round about 2-1 for both of them, and Lankan Rupee and Sweet Idea around about the 5-1 mark.
Yep. So best backed was Terra Vista that was put out 460. That was taken into equal favourite now around that 320 mark. $7 was the top odds given Sweet Idea, which was taken, and now I think you can just get $6.
$6 just. Yes.
There might be even $5.50 or $5 by the time this goes up. Looking at it, but yeah. So other than that, the big 3, as we call. Well, they were known as the big 3 before the big Brazen Bow.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Well, I'm just saying all the hype that the market was the big 3.
Rock stars, yeah.
Well, it's funny. He did start favourite in the race, didn't he, Lankan Rupee? But I've only really considered it as the 2 of them. But anyway, that's fair enough. Okay, cool. All right. Go, someone.
Matt.
I'll go.
Well, first and foremost,
Speed.
Rain Affair and Lord of the Sky are going to lead. There it is, and probably behind them Tiger Tees, and you'd think Lankan Rupee probably sits
somewhere there.
3rd, 4th fence.
Yeah, so I think just a nice solid.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, like Rain Affair. The thought that Rain Affair is a tearaway sprinter anymore. That isn't the case. They'll go a couple of weeks.
And you got like the Tiger Tees and Lord of the Sky are probably naturally shorter courseless horses, so they run faster than the 1,200 metre average. Yeah, exactly. But they're not. It's not smashing it fast. No, exactly. Yeah. Not like we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Look, basically, from my point of view, I'm happy to rule a line through Lankan Rupee. I think 1,200 this time in, he doesn't seem to be going as good. I think I don't know if he's. I don't know. I just think they're better. Good. Like I don't think he was ever that good. Yeah, he was better than what he was racing. Like the point was, I think we had a chat the other day. Like he won this race last year, but when we looked at second, it was Rebel Dane.
Exactly, yeah.
So
and it was Craig Newitt getting it so right, which you don't normally say, but it was just from the inside draw. That
I've always had this thing: horses that go overseas and get inoculated. I don't know if they come back as good. Yeah. So anyway, happy to rule him out with.
The only thing I'd say in his favour, if it does get awful, he's the real.
He's done it on the track and distance. So I'm sort of putting a line through him. I'm going to put Terra Vista just ahead of Chautauqua based on the wet track and the turning track. So that leaves me with 5 units on Terra Vista. And the other horse is Sweet Idea, who is just flying. And I'll be having 4 units on her.
Mad if you don't, mate.
I haven't seen too much good stuff on a wet track from my point of view, but enough to say that, you know, if these other horses who were slightly disappointing, no matter which way you paint it,
slightly disappointing in a strange circumstance. Like it's not. But if you had to go one way or the other, you'd say disappointing.
And you know, so often we've been saying, look at the obvious positive run last start. There's only points to one horse, and it's Sweet Idea.
Absolutely. Well, I'll take it from there because I really like Sweet Idea in this race. Mares, and we've seen it with Catkins, and we keep talking about it. Streamer, all this. Mares for some reason can just go away. You look like you've got a level on them, and they just come back and they just go, well, hang on, I've just found 3 lengths. Somewhere in the spelling or maturity or whatever. And normally you worry about a horse when it goes 3 lengths better than it has in its career, which is what we've had Sweet Idea of doing, because it's more often than not it's an anomaly than it is the real. But when these mares that have done it before and have been good consistent mares come out and do it, they normally hold it and they just go bang, here I am going world class numbers, I'm just going to keep going and going. What she did at Randwick at Rose Hill is about a length off what Chautauqua's and Terra Vista's overall best is, their personal best for the whole career. That happened 2 weeks ago. There's preparations ago, and they're coming off a base which, as we said, is strange, but still questionable, yes. So I'm going with it. It's Gay, it's Home, it's Joe Moreira, it's Sweet Idea. It's 7 units on it, and I think Terra Vista is the danger. 3 units on it. I worry about Chautauqua. I think Terra Vista can get back to his high ranking around about the +10 mark, and I think he can do that. And wet track, people say he's a good wet tracker. He's not. He handles the wet. He's a lot better on the dry. I'm saying he's not a wet tracker is wrong, but you know he's a lot better on the dry. I worry about Chautauqua like I worry about all the Hawks horses. This time last year, all of the Hawks team improved. Not all of the majority of the Hawks team on a lot of people's numbers, not just ours and everything, had a 3 to 4 length spike collectively for a lot of the team. That has dropped off collectively 3 to 4 lengths for the team. So can Chautauqua do that? And it's not just putting that in. The stuff that we're looking at suggesting that he is going to be 3 to 4 lengths off his stuff too. He's already sort of showing that. So I'm sort of looking at it as Chautauqua the weak link out of those two. So I'm 7 units Sweet Idea and 3 units Terra Vista.
Okay. I like Terra Vista's first up run. It just kind of looked like his barrier trial. If he could win, he was there to win. I think he's been set for this race, and I think overseas is possibly an option. I think he's ready to peak. I think he proved to be the top horse last time they all met last prep, the end of last prep. Like you said, he handles the wet. He's drawn well at Hugh. I think
the draw is just awesome.
It reeks of the robots just crunching the shit out of it. It's Hugh Bowman. It's Barrier 10. It's second up, 4 starts, 3 wins. Its track is 4 starts, 4 wins.
Its wet record would be high too.
Its track distance is 3 for 3. It's heavy is 1 for 1. It's
the most likely firmer.
Oh wow.
And the draw you can just you're just visualising the race. You can just see the orange colours just out there. Hugh Bowman just tracking 3 wide.
This horse.
You're there. I'm here. Bang.
Yeah.
You can actually, yeah.
For those that just follow the race books, it's the race book tip of the day.
Oh, it's the race book tip of the day for sure.
Honestly, and I like the horse.
Yeah,
He keeps him progressing every prep for me. He's been super impressive. I've always been against Lincoln Rupee this whole prep and the end of the last prep. I just don't think he's up to them for all the reasons you guys said. So I'm having 15 units Terra Vista. I'm having 3 units Chautauqua because I think he can bounce back. I think he's by far the second best horse in the race. I'm having 2 units Famous Seamus because I don't think he's had a run. I don't think he's had a run to suit.
Up and back up in the weeds.
Yeah, it's not great, but I'm not exactly hating it because I think it's a race of very limited
Barrier
chances.
1, Tim Clark, who sort of a lot of the time refuses to get.
Yeah, but by the end of the day, they're going to be getting.
They're going to be going.
I don't think it's going to make a difference. I really don't. I think his handles the wet. I don't think he's had.
I'm not going to bank Famous Seamus.
And he can hit the line.
He's almost my favourite horse.
Is he?
As you know, I really have a long list of horses that I really want to have favourite horses and really get emotional attached to.
Not too many posters up.
No, there's not many. No.
Now, it's a sweet idea. I can see it's run. It's got Joe Moreira. It's got Gay. $6. No way in Christ is it a $6 chance in this race.
No, exactly. I know it's a $3.50 chance. I know you're right.
I completely disagree. I think I don't know if she's up to them. I know her run was super impressive.
Okay, she repeats that run. What does it do? Is that run good enough to win this race?
No,
it's not.
No.
Okay.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think she'll come near Terra Vista.
Yeah, but you can easily say it's got Girl Guide Form, Venaria, and then Kuro. People can look at it that way. You can look at it that way.
I think when those horses come next to each other, I know Tom thinks when I look at the race, I'm a very classy, fast filly, and he goes, I'm a 12-cylinder Rolls Royce. See you later. I just don't think she
doesn't check the task.
Yeah.
She's tough. As Matt would say, she's a horse you'd love to own.
Give a shit.
And I'd agree.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Anyway, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's quite an interesting.
It's an interesting race.
Yeah, lovely.
You got that, and then you got that,
Yeah.
and you could pot them or back them easily.
All right, lovely. The big one of the day is the Doncaster. Obviously, scratchings will be important because that'll see Swainus in or Kermadec running, but we will just play this as if they're not, okay? So
good as gold.
Only 20 horses. We're not talking about 21 through to 24. Pace-wise, is a Doncaster.
I'll do the market quickly.
Yeah.
There's so many prices out there. What has been backed? It's somewhat has been backed. Pornichet has sort of got a bit of momentum lately, and is sort of listening.
It's funny in Doncasters and Epsoms, you do get the momentum.
Yeah, I think
sees a bit.
Duffy started it last night, and I think that's sort of carried on. Arabian Gold and Suavito.
Hello Crown has to ease, doesn't it? It's about a $5 chance at the moment. It's got to be.
If it's a heavy track, most likely will ease.
I think regardless, I think I would be surprised if there was a set not taken against it. It's perfectly set up, but I think at the end of the day, the reality is going to kick in that it's not good enough. And
I think it's not that he's not good enough. I think it's that if it's run like a 2,000 metre race, it's going to be a hard run race on it. That's the reason I'm good. I think if it's a 1,400 metre race, he's a moral.
You can go first. You're just showing your hand.
All right. Well, no, just pace-wise, boys. What are we?
Real Impact.
Real Impact probably there. Hello Crown, I'll have to probably
Ninth
push forward.
Legion led the race
Ninth Legion,
year.
Diamond Drill, not Diamond Drill. Cosmic Endeavour, obviously. Libaz up there. Pornichet not too far away.
It'll be It'll be 4 lengths above or something.
And there'll be the thing with the Doncaster is the pressure continues on. That's the key to it.
Yep. All right, Hello Crown. I loved his last run, but what it did show is that 2000's just that little bit out of his reach. But I did think it was the perfect lead up for this race, back to the mile. If the track is, say, soft, we're saying 5, 6. I think he's
7, 8.
Yeah, it's going to be 7, 8. I think if it's a 6, he's still there, and it shouldn't. It's just if it is run that 2000, it does make it that little bit harder for him. But back to the miles, definitely his go. The horse is just a winner.
He is.
And I know a lot of the Times people and that won't find that he hasn't done anything super impressive for the simple fact he keeps being in 3 and 4 horse races where they walk along. and he sits there, he sits off them, and he just gets past them because he's a winner. He's the better horse out of them.
What he does, Aaron, he takes advantage of being fit and forward and taking on horses that aren't fully prepared, and he beats them, and that's why he's winning, because he's actually more prepared, he's fitter than them, he's able to do that. He does nothing in beating them, and then when it comes to the serious time, which you saw in the Roman Consul, when those horses were getting fitter, he doesn't participate because he isn't that good.
No, I think back to the 1200 was just a poor setup.
Millions!
I couldn't find him at $5. I think if he's out to the 7.58, I think he's a good bet. The horse I'm really keen in now, the more I look at it, It's Somewhat. Its first up win was very impressive. Its second up run was even more impressive. It was flat, it was wide. I don't know what the jockey was doing on it, but wow, what a run. It was a day where you couldn't be wide at Rosehill. He's kept working. He's then sat up on it the last 100, and the horses just kept finding.
Yeah. It's nice horse.
And then we've seen with these O'Shea's, he seems to really have a knack with them at the moment. They seem to keep progressive. They're racing well.
Presenting great. Yeah, no, he's doing well.
He can handle the soft track, great odds, big rider change. I don't know what the kid was doing on it last start. And the other horse I'm quite keen on, I've labelled it as Gay's Doncaster horse from the start of the prep corner show. I think its timing's perfect. First up just wasn't right. Second up was getting closer, was in an unsuitable race. Third up he just went, okay, I'm ready to race. And now he comes back to the mile. She's done it before. I think they're the three real key chances. Royal Descent, I know she's there. She's got the wet track form. She's going to run. She just seems to find one better for mine, and I'm just going to have to take her on.
Right,
and I thought best of the roughies was Leebaz. It was a extraordinary ride by Tommy Berry last start. But I think he's got the wet track form, down in the weight. I think it makes a big difference on the heavy track.
Yeah, the rub's a lot better than it looked, isn't it?
It was. I'm saying 5 units, It's Somewhat, and 5 units Pornichet, 3 units Hello Crown, 1 unit Leebaz.
All right, well, we might discuss it now that, it's the Doncaster. We might have a discussion about it, Matt, now that Aaron's just done that. You got to go to the Brasco or something, do you? Okay, first and foremost, Japs. Japs really don't like wet.
I'm getting rid of them.
It's all, I haven't got anything to work with from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, they're wet. Their wet's awful. At their best, they own it. They almost, they're Japs. They win.
What did you think of the one that won? It looked perfect the other day.
The other horse paraded awfully.
So Real Impact looked perfect. It was there. He's a real big muscly type.
Yeah, he was there. I mean, what you'd probably expect for.
I think what we saw at Rose Hill is you just can't compare. He can't. That same horse can't come to Randwick and do that.
No, I think I'd be probably opposing Royal Impact coming from what's it called?
Real Impact.
Coming from Rose Hill to Randwick. I mean, that is one of the great things of doing this meeting, is that you get the Rose Hill feed of form, and Rose Hill 1,500 metres, which is one of the great poofter distances of the world, going to the Randwick Mile, which is one of the great tests of the world, on a Randwick track, which is the Gibbs going to be out, the grass is very dense, rail true, isn't a profile. I mean, the George Ryder form stands up, but it's the type of run in the George Ryder form, and that was a real Rose Hill run.
Yep.
Even though he went too fast in the lead, even though the race.
Did he get away with that at Rose Hill?
Well, you were able to, and his numbers do look best at 1,100, 1,500, not 1,600 Randwick Mile. So, look. Probably would have been against him anyway, but World Ace would have interested me, but I just can't have him on with tracks. Has anyone spoken to them through a translator or anything? Like the Japanese scratch their horses if there's a hair wrong. I wouldn't be surprised to see these horses not run.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Like, because they will fly all around the world and just get there and say, sorry, we're not playing.
Yeah, okay.
So
he did parade very, very poorly.
It was awful. But apparently that's him. I don't cop that either. But anyway, so we're sort of almost looking at a Japs out with great respect. I've
got a thing that maybe they're stronger than us at 3,200 metres, 2,400 metres, 2,000. We're starting to maybe meet them.
I think just
and
if you
down.
had just said stopped it when stronger than us, just stop there.
You reckon they are the stronger than us in every distance?
They're better. Well, what they are, they've designed their racing to eventually become the best racing in the world. But also too, that's bolstered with the way that they run. They just get out and go. So they've got probably better horses with us to start with, but they are just better prepared because their racing style, like what we call as a fast race, they go. Really? Okay, we're just
cruising.
Yeah, we're cruising, right. and continue.
Japs are out.
Yeah, Japs are out anyway. All right, lovely. Sacred Falls.
Yes.
Wet track, obviously come. I think this is one of the big things about this race. We've got there's a couple of horses that get through it. Most of the field hate it, or like so. Sacred Falls loves it.
Royal Descent likes it.
Yeah, but Sacred Falls, I think I feel that it's going a couple of lengths below what it is.
He doesn't look to be going as good, but he just seems to be that horse that just shows up at the mile at Grandwing.
Yeah, exactly, and all that. But
well drawn. You can't put a line through him.
No, especially considering that he is one of a very few that love the wet. Happy Trails, I like. I hate the draw.
What about the wet track? I know the trainer always thinks of scratching.
Yeah, he does. But I think Happy Trails falls into the category from what our numbers are of a lot of the horses that is not good in it, but it's not bad in it. So that's sort of almost.
Is he going as good?
He went great the other day. The Australian Cup's a hugely strong race. The format of it looks compromised because a couple of horses ran last week because they came off an absolute gut buster and they couldn't pick their feet up. But the extra week, he's fine.
Compromises the race for mine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The first and second place getters compromise.
They do, but the numbers are odd. Yeah. Funny those two. They improve the field.
Moriarty.
Yeah, good chance. He'll run. He'll be the horse of big odds that runs third or fourth.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Even on the wet.
Royal Decent probably starts favourite if it's wet. Is that a fair call?
If it's heavy, you're saying.
It's coming already,
Yeah, she's she's in my top two.
She kind of looks a horse that other than Kermadec, but the other Waller horse that is really set for the race.
Yeah, that's right.
Moriarty looks like a bit of an afterthought.
He wants a Group 1 like nothing else.
Okay, cool. All right, well, Joe Maria on Barrier 18 looks perfect.
I'm saying
Ninth Legion,
millions?
wet, no good. Pacini, good luck. Cosmic Endeavour and Hallowed Crown I've mentioned. Hooked will be there or thereabouts. It's somewhat I've got to agree with you. It's there, but again, the inside draw is a bit of a worry. And again, wet is passable.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. Diamond Drill, no good on the wet. Pornichet, definitely yes, for all the reasons you said. I would be very confident about it, apart from one big thing. Karen McAvoy on.
He rode the first three races.
Good. He accidentally did.
Can he accidentally just do it?
Well, he can accidentally. Yeah, he could accidentally do it, but yeah,
Destiny's Kiss, no.
Wet Track helps it. Arabian Gold helps it. Labaz, yeah, whatever. Rudy's run was better than the other day, and then Svevito and Plucky Bell. There it is. No, but I'm Pornichet and Royal Decent mainly. So 5 units on both of those, and 1 unit on Moriarty. Happy Trails, and it's somewhat.
And what are you saying?
I sort of had a bit of a light bulb moment this morning doing this race. Left me pretty confident with Royal Descent.
Yeah.
Quite simple. Same race last year. The horse that beat at Sacred Falls isn't going as well. Remove it. It's got the same weight. It's just been set for it.
It's there.
It's wet.
Yeah.
And it's got the right jockey and
Absolutely.
The barrier. Yeah. The barrier probably cost it last year because it had to go around while Sacred Falls went through the middle.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Sacred Falls is out. It leaves me with it on top easily. I'll have 6 units. I'll have 6 each way. 6 each way.
6, yeah. Probably lock in the price now, or we're betting on rain, I suppose, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll back
it. Could start evens, by the way. Everyone I spoke to is tipping me.
Yeah, it'll start.
I'll lock in.
If the weather goes as we expect, it'll start.
Lock in the price. I agree. Moriarty. I'll have 2 units. On
it is a horse that has always been a miler.
I think so. And some of its better runs were at the mile to Royal Descent.
Big number at Randwick Mile.
Yeah, and Sacred Falls. And 2 units Arabian Gold, who could just be the horse that comes through the middle and, feather on its back, wet track, all that. The feet issue is a thing, but It was $26 the other day when I backed it. So
Could be Dickie's first winner on a Saturday for 35 years. It'd be great.
Yeah.
And if Kermit gets in the race, he'll have 5 years.
Well, yeah, that's...
Yeah. I'll just have 2 units on...
That's the thing. Well, actually, when we spoke... No, we didn't have to speak about Kermit. Oh, well, just quick... I was thinking we spoke about Kermit. We didn't... Wet track has to be a bit of a worry for Kermit.
It doesn't look ideal.
Yeah. He trialled on a wet track and he was just one of those hidden trials that you sort of don't know, but probably know.
He didn't look like he was loving it.
No.
He's a pretty big, strong type.
Beautiful. All right.
But yeah, the 3-year-olds, I'm happy to... besides Brazen Bow, who's beaten the sprinters, all the 3-year-olds have taken over on the olders. They've been a few lengths behind, so I can't just have hallowed crown. No,
I'm hard against it. Alright, lovely. Good race, Doncaster, as it always is. And the TAB Adrian Knox wraps up the day, 2,000 metres. Abduction, Winetails and Maastricht dominate the betting, or sort of do. $5 all of them, and Zarzali is seemingly a bit short.
Yes, Heavens Above came out, I'm not sure when that happened.
Yes, I saw that this morning.
Yeah, look, money has been Abduction, Winetails, as well as Zazali's been back. Yeah, it's been $8.50 to $6.50. So it's maybe a pretty good go considering. You guys can go first because I sort of haven't done this race too much.
You haven't done that race too much? All right, lovely. All right, great. Pace-wise, yeah. 3-year-old fillies up to 2,000 metres. It won't be silly slow. It was like last week where everyone was saying that they were going to go slow. They
never really walk in these. Right? Maastricht should go forward. Candelara will be forward. Yep. Lady McKean's a possibility of going forward. It was ridden cold last start, but it's been ridden closer before.
Choy de Maya is a forward or back option.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. All right, lovely. Anyway, okay. Aaron, what do you think?
This is a real tricky race because it's kind of... When I first looked at the race, I went the top 2, Winetails, Abduction, Winetails, and then I looked at it and thought, on the heavy track, you might kind of want the best stayer in the race.
Well, that's right, and you're talking about horses that are, 1,600 metre, or 1,650?
Abduction can ride it. I think Winetails is the best horse in the race for mine, and especially over...
But they're all 3 weeks up to 2,000.
Yeah, it does have that query. I'm still going to have Winetails there. I'm going to have 4 units Winetails because I do think she's the best horse in the race. And I don't think they're going to go exceptionally.
She is a wet track type.
And she's a wet track type. She should handle it, even though she has grown a bit. I'm going to have 3 units Abduction because she can run the 2,000.
She's got the stamp there, doesn't she?
I thought her run last start, she loomed. She's probably ridden a touch close for her liking. She's on the wrong part of the track up the inside. Just tied the last bit. I like to run. I'm going a little bit against Maastricht. I'm not loving that Melbourne form for backing horses that are hard in the market.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm going to 2 horses here. Find a fitter filly. This horse looks like a dead set stayer. It's run behind the boys. It's run 2 back. It had no luck. It looks to be progressing. The step up to 2,000 looks very ideal. It's about 40 to 1. I'm having 2 units on her, and I'll have 2 units on Zazali, who is very, very impressive over 2,400 against the boys. That's me.
We said the top 2 have the class edge, I suppose.
Yeah,
but it is, by this stage of the day, we might be on a pretty sloppy, sloggy type track. So I'm still going to go with them, but right now I'm going with it. But as I get closer to it, I might be changing. But I'm 6 units Abduction, 6 units Winetails, and 3 units Maastricht. But that could change around. It's got the good 2,000 metre run in good numbers, and it is D-done.
The set square at 2,000 was flying at that time.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
I'm not going to use any units on this race at the moment. Too many question marks, and
it's all price dependent late for me.
I'll need a bit more time.
On ability class numbers that we've got the top 3 just so far ahead of everything else.
I've been an Abduction fan. It keeps over racing.
Yeah, okay. It's not a good sign going 3 weeks without racing for 2,000.
Which concerns me greatly, but it does have that run against Thunder Lady in the Wakeful is good enough, but it seems to be a little bit unhappy this prep.
Yep, perfect. All right, lovely. All right, well, that wraps it up, boys. Hopefully there's plenty of winners at 10 races. Will be nice and 10 races there. Well, there's 9 races because you can have one off with the country championship, but it's all
very
good.
Exciting race.
Lovely, cool. All right, well, thank you very much, Aaron. We'll see you somewhere soon. And Matt, we'll be back on. Oh no, hang on, it's a public holiday Monday. We'll work out what we're doing with the show. Yeah. All right, lovely, cool, good as gold. Thank you, boys.
Thank you.
Good luck to everyone. Thank you.